Okay, hey guys. Today I have the profile for the deck that I took to my most recent regionals, and I decided to take Malice. I know this is like a White Forest heavy channel that I have, but honestly, I came into a couple of the cards just by chance, and I was like, I'm always the kind of person who plays rogue decks, and I've never really tried going to an event with like a top tier deck, but um, I wanted to try it this time because I had some of the cards. So um, yeah, so I took this. I ended up getting my invite. I got top 24, but unfortunately I couldn't get top 8. If I won my last round, I would have gotten, I think, 6th place, which would have been really cool. But unfortunately, I got pretty unlucky in my last round, which was pretty rough for sure. But that is what it is. What it is. But I think the deck performed very well for me. I like blew by my first 4 rounds. I went 4-0 in my first 4 rounds, and then I got super like it's always rough to say like oh I just got super unlucky, like that's the only reason why I lost. But my round 5 was like, anyone looks at it and they'll be like, yeah, it was literally just I got opened such an unlucky hand going first. It was just all hand traps, and then uh and my opponent had like the god hand for Mitsurugi Raizo already, and he had like one X, one prayers. He had, I think, two Fulos and what was the other one? And I think Mitsurugi Ritual, I think. Something like that. And then game 2, he draw phase landed me, and then I tried to thrust for one of my trap cards in my deck, and he ashed that, and then he had the same 3 starters for his play. There was just nothing I could do at that point. I ended up drawing. I sided in 2 thrust and D barrier, and I ended up drawing all 3. So it was just a really rough match. And then I drew, and then I won against Live Twin Fiendsmith, and then I unfortunately lost in the last round to a very just back and forth Malice mirror, where game 1 we both had our opening hands. I went first. I just said pass, and then he drew and he said pass, and then I drew and I said pass, and then he drew and he said pass. It was a very weird game. And then I won game 2, and then game 3 he what's it called? He was going first, and I opened impulse plus essentially 3 backup. So there was like nothing I could really do, but it is what it is. But I want to share my deck profile. Enough yapping. So I played 2 Dormouse, 2 White Rabbit, 2 Chessy Cat. I don't really think I need the third because it's not 1-card combo anyway. And then 3 March Hare, obviously, because this card's absolutely busted. I played 2 of the Field Spell, 1 Malice in the Mirror, and then 1 Terraforming for consistency, because, might as well. And then I played GWC and MTPO7, so let me put these over here. So these are like the biggest cards that people debate about, and I think, honestly, the only thing that would have made, I think, more sense would have been playing TB11 as well. I think playing not maining GWC would have been wrong. I think the people who are, all the memes about, if you're playing GWC, you're behind. I think that's like actually super wrong. I think if you're not, you're behind. And I think this is probably the most conservative, I think, with these cards you can go. I think, honestly, playing TB11 is probably worth it after my experience at the regional. They're just, there's a number of times where I was summoning a White Rabbit and then I just had nothing else to set. There were times where, it just having those kind of plays would have opened up more 1-card combos. So I think all in all, I think I might be adding TB11 into the deck, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But that's one thing I'm thinking of. Of course, I play 3 backup and 1 wizard at Ignister. These cards are absolutely insane, and I held my impulse in my final round for I think one of their first plays, and I think like I had to do it that early, otherwise just 1 impulse wasn't gonna do enough. And at that point, um, like I was basically just hoping my opponent didn't have backup, and I probably would have been fine and probably would have been in a decent position to win the game, but he did have backup, so it was frustrating. And even my game too, like I put him on like needing to have a crazy hand. Basically, he needed to have hard open the wizard to have had any plays, and he did, and it was like very frustrating. But I still ended up beating him in that game. So but anyway, these cards are absolutely crazy. Custom cards. And then 1 gold sark because it's just obvious, just an extra way to play. And then I was playing 2 excuse me, a 2 allure. I think the only issue in this deck is literally just consistency, and you could play like Silent Mining. I'm gonna try that out because like this is like a situational kind of piece. It's nice to draw extra cards and get extra advantage, and especially like going second, drawing into an impulse, it just protects me from like a Nibiru going second. Is like really nice. Just so much hand advantage, and people side out Drolls, but the issue is people are gonna side in Lancias and probably shotgun them. So yeah, these are cards that I would side out like every time, because you just have to. So I think maybe I'm going to cut one of these and play like TB11, and then this might be one other hand trap, which I'll talk about in just a bit. Well, actually, I'll talk about it kind of right now because we are at the hand trap. So I played 3 Ash, 3 Fuelos, 2 Perilia, and 2 Nibiru. One of the allures I think I would want to take out, put in a 3rd Nibiru. I played a Druisworm and Magnemite. I played 3 Imperm, and then 3 of like the God card. This Impulse, absolutely insane. This card is like, I don't know how I can just express how busted this card is. It's just absolutely absurd how strong it is. The only conflicting thing is Nibiru and I guess technically also wins so Fulos, so you'd have to Fulos first, but like that's probably going to happen anyway. And I think the only other conflicting thing is Firewall Dragon because that's a light. But yeah, this was these cards are absolutely insane. You need a lot of hand traps, and the Charmies are just really strong. Just drawing lots of cards is just way too busted right now. And oops, most people are playing at least 3, if not 5 or 6 in their main right now. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Extra deck. I'm playing 2 Lingaribo. The second one does come up a decent amount in my opinion. Especially playing with Wicked. 1 Link Spider. This card's actually kind of crazy. It's only crazy for what it is as opposed to what it does. It's just when you get nibbed, you just link off the nib token and you have a Cyberse monster special summoned from the extra deck that you can special backup and just continue playing. So it's actually kind of crazy. 1 Lizardos, 1 Wicked, which is standard. Splash Mage, very important, also standard. I played Dark. I only summoned it twice, but it was very strong in the games that I did summon it. And I think one game I took my opponent's Magnemite, and then another one I took in the final game 2 of the final round. I took my opponent's Dormouse and comboed, and that's what won me the game. So 1 SP Little Knight. I did not make this once at the regional. I'm fairly new to this deck, so maybe it was like one of those things where There were times for me to summon it where I didn't, but I don't know if that card's actually really comes with all that much. I played one Red Ransom, one White Binder, and then one Cryptor. Yeah, just obvious the Maliss names. And then I played one Firewall Dragon. I did not summon this once. Actually, shout out to James, who was actually also our head judge. He let me borrow his. I didn't have this at the time. I didn't have a firewall, so he let me borrow his Firewall Dragon. So shout out to him. But yeah, I didn't end up summoning it at all. There was no point when I was going first that I wasn't like super hit with like hand traps or charmies to the point where it's like, okay, I just wasn't gonna get to this. And going second, you don't really make this. So it was one of those things where it's like nice to have it and not need it instead of need it and not have it. But yeah, this card was kind of iffy for me. One Topologic Bomber Dragon. I think I only summoned this once, if not maybe twice. It is a decent card, but it's also makes your games a little awkward. I don't know 100% know how I feel about it. I don't know. I think this will take some thinking, because I think Firewall might do for this deck what Topologic does. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to do some more testing on it. But then one access code, because it's crazy card for OTKing, and then one allied code talker. It's just, it doesn't come up all that much, but it's an important end board piece that you need to have as like a threat, I think. So it's very strong. So side deck, 3 Lancia for the mirror, 3 Droll for Mitsurugi Raizio. I did not activate Droll once during the tournament, because I guess Droll just doesn't want to show up in my hand ever, which was really weird. But yeah, I mean, I guess, stuff like that can happen. I played 3 AI Michu to help search backup. This was like my counterplay to getting like Lancia'd or Chaos Huntered. I think I might drop it down to 2, because there's many times in which I was breaking on backups actually. So I think maybe cutting it down to 2 will do me a lot better. Then I also play 1 Call By, because it's actually a crazy card. And then here's a lot of the things that I want to change about the side deck. So I played 2 Thrusts, 1 Talents. I played a Sanctum and a D-Barrier. I did not activate Sanctum once. I mean, I only played 1 Malice Mirror, so like it makes sense. But like, I don't know. I think I might. This is actually not that good, because in the mirror, my opponents are going to have 3 Ash and 3 Impulse, so that makes this like a lot less likely to resolve. So I think this was not a good card to play against them, in my opinion. And then D-Barrier was just like one of the better options that I had available to me for things like Mitsurugi Raizio. It only cuts them off from one of their engines, so like I would usually cut them off from their ritual side of things. But not the XYZ, the Raizio part. So it's not as good as it could be. I think Talents is like a good card I'd probably keep. But also the Thrusts didn't come up that much. I cited them in a bunch, but going second, they're not great at board breaking right now, in my opinion. It's not really what you need. So yeah, I think I might take these out and try for a different approach. That's not really the only thing I feel like changing about my deck is mainly the side deck, and then the 2 Allures for the main deck. I'll want to find something different for that. But yeah, that's the profile. I had a lot of fun. It was I think a really good experience, and something that was, I don't know, it was definitely frustrating, because I saw some people who got top 8 who got very lucky with some of their rounds. They were like setting 2 and passing, and then, like there was one person I saw who was self-admittedly didn't said he didn't know what his cards did, and then end up getting top 8 too. And I think that it was one of those things where, like, you don't want to say, oh, it's just bad luck. It's oh, my opponent drew the out, because that doesn't really help you become a better player. But there was also, I think, a lot of people were saying there was a lot of like weird, results happening too. So it was definitely an odd, regional. And on another day, I would have been able to clinch the top 8 myself, but I just fell just short, unfortunately. But I did get my invite, and I will maybe be going to the national championship. I do not know. I say national championship. What is it called? Nationals, NAWCQ. I don't know, something like that. Whatever it's called. And I might be going to that. If I do, I'll probably be taking White Forest. Don't fear, White Forest enjoyers. That the White Forest deck is going nowhere. It's still going to be my main deck. I just wanted to try something out on the side to see how I could do. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.